All right, a little combination for you to practice with some hip circles and some hip drops. So with our hip circle, remember we've got the component of the slide horizontally, but we also have the forward and back component. So in your hip circle, you are sliding to the right, forward, to the left, back to make that circle around you, but it's just a lot smoother. Now, if we do more of an Egyptian hip circle, we're stepping out with it a little bit, really getting into it and then pulling in with the foot. So we could pull in the foot that we had extended just to come back to center if we were just going to keep doing them in the same direction so that we're not walking across the room. Or in this case, we're going to pull in the opposite foot and turn to that side because we're going right into a hip drop. So if I step out with my right and get my Egyptian hip circle going to the right, then I'm going to pull in my left leg, maybe turn slightly to the side and go right into a hip drop with that left hip that's out towards the audience. And our hip drop is going to be that kind where we drop and release. So let's review that hip drop again. Hip drop, our hip has to be lifted up a little bit on that side. The weight is not on that leg. Hip is lifted. My foot is just positioned so that it balances me, and then I can drop it down on the beat. Now this kind of hip drop that we're doing with the drop and release, every other drop, I'm going to turn loose the foot. So if I was going drop, 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 with this kind of hip drop, I'm going to go drop, release, drop, release. Every other time, I'm picking up the foot, but the hip is still doing the very same thing. So this combination is going to be on an 8 count. The first 4 are going into the big hip circle, so it's going to be a nice, long, slow one. And when we turn at the end of it, then we're going to have the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be our drop and releases. So we've got 4 on the hip circle, so it's going to be a big long one, and then 4 on the drop and release, and when we finish that last one, then we're going to step out in the other direction for our hip circle, and then our hip drops will be on the opposite side. So let's see what that looks like to music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.